It is a beautiful day for baseball, and happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there. And a lot of them are at the ballpark today here in Seattle as the A's are wrapping up this 10-game road trip. Tough task today. They will face that man, Felix Hernandez. Final game of this series. It's the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners. A's trying to avoid the sweep. You'll see today's game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Felix Hernandez off to a terrific start this year. The record 5-0. Ray, his worst start was actually against the A's on April 12th. He only went 5 innings, got a no decision.
Well, he got a no decision because his closer gave up 4 runs in the 9th inning. He had a chance to win the ball game, even though the A's did score early against him. They had a 3-0 lead against King Felix. He did not pitch that well that day. As a matter of fact, Jesse Hahn had a no-hitter himself through 5 innings, but the Mariners won. King Felix is the best. He's 5-0 with a 173 earned run average. Everything about him is so good. We're going to see an unbelievable change-up. The ball that goes straight down. Looks like a fastball. It's got to be a change-up, but he's a very good pitcher.
Jesse Chavez for the Athletics, and Jesse just quietly goes about his business, Ray. He's really become a very good pitcher, and his last start was really one of the best starts in his career.
Pace of the game is outstanding for Jesse Chavez. He did pick up the win. He worked quickly. He threw strikes. The only slowdown for him came when he got a little bit muddy. He had to slow himself down, but he did pick up the win. Very rare on this road trip, but he throws a lot of quality pitches both inside and outside depending on the batter, right-hander, left-hander. I don't know that you could have a better matchup on Mother's Day than this one today.
All right, and the A's hope to get a win and head home with a little momentum as they open up that homestand tomorrow against the Red Sox. Coming up after the break, we will head inside the A's pregame live studios for an update, and then back to the ballpark on Mother's Day. It's the A's and the Mariners.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
Beautiful day for baseball, the A's and the Mariners, and it's always quite an event here at Safeco Field when King Felix pitches. Boy, the fans just love this guy, and they get into it big time. So that is the challenge for the Athletics today. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Admission free. Visit online for park hours at beachboardwalk.com. 68 degrees, just a light breeze, not much of a cloud cover, just a little bit. But a nice day for baseball, and certainly hope everybody's enjoying Mother's Day on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Let's look at the lineup for the Athletics. It starts with those two gentlemen, Billy Burns, the center fielder, and Marcus Semien, the shortstop. Then it's Reddick and right, Butler, the DH. Vogt will catch. Davis at first, Laurie at third, Folden left, and Sogard at second.
And they call him the king for a reason, and as Cap said, quite a production. Whenever he walks in from the bullpen, they say everybody rise, and the king, of course, has a perfect game, and we know what happened 5 years ago. But Felix Hernandez, as Kipe also said, had his worst outing, but he did leave with a quad issue after the fifth inning. Did have a chance to pick up the win, a no decision for him, so he could be better, but still very impressive with a sub-2 earned run average.
How about the shirts?
Yeah.
Mama said, strike you out. That's pretty good. So the King's Court is in session down the left field line, filling up a couple of sections down there with the pink shirts. So that's always fun to keep an eye on those folks. They get into it when he gets 2 strikes on any hitter. 1-1 to Billy Burns. Burns hitting .313.
The thing about Felix Hernandez, his velocity has dropped a little bit since he first started to pitch, but his changeup is only about 4 miles slower than his fastball, and the changeup, as we know, dives straight down, and it's about 89 miles per hour, and hitters look at it and think it's a fastball or maybe a splitter, but it is an outstanding changeup.
Seager playing right even with the bag, grabs it. Burns is out, 1 away here in the first. So that'll bring up Marcus Semien. Here's the defense behind Felix Hernandez. Smith in left, Ackley in center, Cruz in right, Seager, Miller left side, Cano, Morrison right side, and Jesus Sucre does the catching this afternoon for Seattle.
And Cap, as we talked in Oakland when Felix Hernandez pitched, I think any time a pitcher has pitched a perfect game, I think of the great Nolan Ryan, who also wore number 34. He pitched 7 no-hitters, and every game he pitched, he started. He figured he's going to pitch a no-hitter. Well, Felix, the key to get a hit, as the A's did in the second inning, was Billy Butler, who singled off him in Oakland. But I would think he will pitch until he gets a base runner, as if he's pitching a perfect game. And that's a pretty good way to take them out.
That was the perfect game, August 15th, 2012, with John Jaso behind the plate. Something else to watch for today. Felix Hernandez is 5 strikeouts away from 2,000 in his career. So that's a heck of a milestone, and he's going to get it at the age of 29. And there's the King's Court in action. And that one is looped towards center. Cano cannot get it, and it's an 0-2 hit for Marcus Semien.
Well, a broken pink bat, so that will be authenticated. And matter of fact, the bat boy is sending it over to the Mariners dugout to be authenticated. But Felix Hernandez going for the strikeout with the court chanting, but did not happen on this one, as Marcus Semien with a single. Played well last night, and after shaving his beard, had a good game, so he may never grow it back. McKay, remember last year on the 7th of May, geez, almost a year, he did not strike out a batter. 277th career start. It was only the 3rd time he won a game without striking out a batter, and that was against the Athletics. Seattle won that game in 10 innings. Josh Reddick said he's going to wear the pink T-shirt while he opened up his jersey to show a lot of that pink T-shirt that he's wearing.
The count to Reddick. .330 the average with 5 home runs and 22 RBI. So he's looking good today.
Well, pink is the color that players, umpires, a lot of people wear on Mother's Day.
And of course, it's in support of breast cancer awareness. So a nice gesture by all the players and Major League Baseball.
And there were cases of pink items shipped to the visiting clubhouse. Ted Walsh talking about how the cases and cases just kept coming. About 20 cases of various items for the players and staff to wear.
Swing and a miss, and now it's 2-2.
And speaking of Ted Walsh, Marilyn Walsh, his mother, lives in Concord, watches the A's and watches the Mariners a lot. It's a good breaking ball from King Felix, but Marilyn Walsh and Ted, of course, with the 49ers for many years and Cleveland Indians, and now on the visiting side for the Seattle Mariners. But his mother, Marilyn, watching the game from Concord, so he wanted to wish her a happy Mother's Day.
2-2 pitch. Hit in the air towards Smith. Smith to his left grabs it, and Reddick is retired for the second out.
Got those uniforms that Mariners are wearing. I remember those from 1977.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a new thing.
Yeah.
An alternate uniform for the Mariners. It got the old look. It's kind of it's that off-white color, which some teams have that color uniform. It's not a bad look.
I think the Giants wear that.
Giants have. I think the Cardinals have an off-white, kind of a bone color.
Indians wear it. So there are a few.
It does sort of bring you back a little bit to the 50s and 60s when a lot of teams wore that.
Well, yeah, the flannels. I mean, it was a white at home and gray on the road. I mean, really what the Yankees are wearing now is what all teams wore for many years. And that is, of course, they had the pinstripes at home, but it's the white and then the gray on the road.
Butler could have been a broken bat. Loops it fouled on the right field line. He's going to check it. And he's still checking that bat. It looks like it's okay. So 0-2 to Butler. Umpires, Will Little calling balls and strike. Davis at first, Randazzo at second. Pilcuzzi is at third. So 0-2. Simeon the runner at first. Pitch out, nothing going on. A's come in 12-20, of course struggling. They've lost 4 in a row and 6 of 8. 8 and 11 on the road. So game number 33.
And you never want to
tough time.
Finish a 10-game road trip facing Felix Hernandez, but that is the chore today, and the A's will try to beat the best in baseball on this series and road trip finale.
There goes. Pitch is looped down the right field line, and it's just foul. See, if you'd be sitting on a 4-game winning streak, that ball probably drops fair just inside the line. But when you're sitting on a 4-game losing streak, it goes foul.
And Marcus Semien would have continued to run around second because there are 2 outs.
That's right. He's going, man.
He was running on the pitch, and when there are 2 outs, you don't have to stop running. You can keep going until somebody yells foul. Foul ball, not foul. We don't want people to yell foul, just in general. But there's the pink K's in the backdrop there with the King's Court.
Somebody runs again, swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Butler strikes out to end the top of the first. So here come the Mariners in the bottom of the first, and they will face Jesse Chavez. Let's take a look at their lineup. Starts with Seth Smith in left. Ricky Weeks gets a start today. He's the DH. Then the three big guys in the middle: Cano, Cruz, and Seager, followed by Morrison, Ackley, Miller, and Sucre.
Jesse Chavez coming off one of the better starts that he has had, especially this year, because he's only been in the rotation now for 3 starts, this being his 4th. But Jesse pitched very well against the Minnesota Twins, was very quick with all of his pitches and very efficient. Pitched deep into the game. Matter of fact, into the 8th inning, left after 7 1/3. Did start a couple of times last year against the Mariners. His first, as a matter of fact, was at home. And as we have noted many times, not a lot of run support in that one. So no decision, as he gave it just 1 earned run.
Like that win in Minnesota was his first win since July 23rd of last year.
Well, he does not have to worry about the mud in his cleats today. This is a beautiful day, and that game he had some issues with the mud in his cleats, and in that 7th and 8th inning, his pace just dramatically decreased, and he said it really affected him. And as a result, in the 8th inning, of course, it was a miscue that forced him to leave in the game, but did pitch very well through just 87 pitches.
This one hit high in the air, shallow left, and Fold has it. A's defense today: Fold in left, Burns in center, Reddick in right, Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis on the infield. Stephen Vogt back in there today. So there's Stephen. Josh Fegley catching last night. He worked overtime last night, didn't he? Josh Fegley.
Didn't he?
And I'm not talking about extra innings either. It's just he worked harder than normal.
Well, and surprisingly, and did find out, because we were a little confused in the 1 inning, but he got crossed up from 3 consecutive pitches. He called sliders and got changeups for Fernando Abad. And I said, pretty good idea after you crossed up the first time. Go talk.
Well, we were worried about him. I mean,
Exactly.
It was very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the tough part, because it just looked like something was abnormal. But
It was.
Turned out to be.
Or it did look like.
Yeah. They turned out to be cross-ups.
So 3 cross-ups in an inning.
Yeah.
That's almost impossible.
Actually, within 3 consecutive pitches. And all 3 pitches, we wondered it gets worse and worse. But, you know, he called sliders and could not believe he kept throwing changeups, and that's what confused him. Nice, easy delivery from Jesse Chavez. Ricky Weeks, who had a big pinch hit 3-run home run in the series at the Coliseum against the A's. Of course, many years with the Brewers. His brother Ricky, a former athletic second baseman. Said Ricky, that would be Jamiel. Ricky is the one hitting.
And the Mariners hoping, they signed him late before spring training, but they're hoping he can give them a little pop off the bench from the right side. Two-2 pitch just missed, and now a full count to Weeks. Cano to follow. Mariners come in 13-17. They're 7-7 at home, and they are in the midst of a 9-game homestand. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with that good fastball.
When you have this kind of easy delivery that Jesse Chavez has, and then all of a sudden the ball explodes on a hitter, that's why you see kind of a late swing. And plus, Jesse would throw so many different pitches. He's got a great cut fastball that he throws away to the right-handers. And there's your, I mean, look at that. Fastball is thrown less, actually, than his cutter, which is just an unbelievable pitch that he has developed to go away from right-handers. And then he throws the changeup, which acts like a screwball, backdoor to the same hitter.
Sogard scoops it up, so Cano goes after the first pitch, and Jesse Chavez has a 3-up, 3-down first inning. No score after 1 from Seattle.
celebrating 13 years, and those chefs are passing out food for about the 15th year. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices, real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv. Details, MLB.tv.
What are they giving away down there?
I don't know. Looks pretty good, though.
It's the biggest turkey leg of all time. They do that, though. We've seen them do that before.
So they have to
make sure the King's Court is well fed.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right.
What's funny with the King's Court a couple years ago, it was just that last section. And it was pretty cool, you could tell. And now it's gone into the next section, which is now full. So it's 2 full sections now. And Vogt's going to loop one into left field for a base hit. So a leadoff hit for Stephen Vogt.
Stephen Vogt getting back in the hitting and going opposite field, stayed inside on this off-speed pitch, and a nice swing for Stephen Vogt to start this second inning. Stephen Vogt, as we mentioned, from Tumwater, and what is interesting in that nice interview that the guys did in a special Mother's Day interview, Stephen Vogt had a full beard. We showed last night and how he had shaven, and I said, how did your kids, of course they have a 5-month-old son, Clark, he had no idea, but Peyton, the daughter, said, Daddy, what happened to you? Where's the hair on your face? So Stephen Vogt is starting another beard today because he got butchered. He got butchered yesterday.
Yeah, what I like is, I mean, you really stay up on the facial hair stuff, and that's good.
Well, I mean,
I appreciate that because it's a sidebar to the ball game.
Yeah. Well, you know,
facial hair update.
Do you know my daughters have never seen me without a mustache?
Heard that.
And that's a long time. But Stephen Vogt, you know, kids are very well aware of facial hair.
In the air, fairly well hit, but room for Smith, and he's got it. So Mike Davis is retired. You know, if we look at Safeco Field, another nice crowd. Last night over 37,000. And you know what? It's probably in that area today. Maybe not quite as many, but the Mariners averaging 29,000 in the early going, and that's up about 4,000 per game from last year. So that's good news for the Mariners.
I think these fans are just very happy to have an outdoor stadium, or at least this type of stadium that they can come and enjoy a beautiful day. And it's been a great weekend. The weather has been unbelievable this weekend in Seattle. They do have the roof that does close to keep the elements, but open all weekend.
Inside the Lori. Look at that. Taking the boat tour out on Puget Sound, which is a very cool thing to do here in Seattle. So now 1-2. Hernandez struck out Butler to end the first inning. He's ahead of Laurie here with Vogt at first and 1 out. And that was close.
92-mile-an-hour fastball inside corner, and he will use the fastball in there, but he'll also throw the changeup at about 3 miles an hour slower, which that's the pitch that gets hitters.
Defense pretty straight away for Laurie. And the fastball inner half, and he went around. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. So Laurie, who's had a tough series, heads back to the dugout.
You go back to Friday night with Taijuan Walker. Did they have last night? Everybody staying inside right there, and he's not been able to catch up with the fastball inside. And it's unfortunate because he likes the fastball, as does, well, Felix likes to throw the fastball, but also Brett Laurie, but not inside. They've been tying him up.
Interesting breakdown.
Yeah.
right to Cano. Cano flips to first. Sam Fold is retired, and so are the A's after the leadoff single by Stephen Vogt. Nelson Cruz to lead it off when we come back. Scuffled defensively, making 4 errors, the most in a game since August 22nd of 2012. Contributed to 5 of the Mariners' 7 runs, and the A's now with 32 errors on the year. That is the most in the major league. So, a disappointing part of the A's early season performance has been the defense. Seems like there's just too many good individual defensive players on the roster for the team to have that many errors. So Cruz, Seager, and Morrison here in the second inning. So 11 errors in the last 7 games. So they try to break that 7-game stretch today.
And Marcus Semien saying that on the play that he made the 2 errors in the first inning, he was going in behind Cruz for an attempted pickoff from Fegley, and the pitch was thrown. And then he had to hurry up, get back to position, and that's when he bobbled the ball and then threw her to try to get Cruz at the plate. So not only you make the errors, then you're trying to do other things, and even complicates it that much more.
1-2 to Nelson Cruz. Strike 3 called right at the knees on the outside corner, and Cruz in full disagreement with Will Little.
Well, it's down low, but Will Little's got a very good day today because he has 2 pitchers who like to throw strikes and are around the plate. And Nelson Cruz does not really like the low fastball, and he takes this one thinking it's out of the strike zone and can't believe he's rung up. But I'll tell you, if an umpire has 2 pitchers who are very good strike throwers, it's almost telling the hitters, be aware. So they're going to call him otherwise, and he might have given one to Jesse Chavez there.
So here's Seager, 245 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs for Seager, and he belts one to center. Burns on the move, Burns near the wall, and he's got just enough room in deep left center field. Ballpark gets very big out there.
I think they move the fences in that area, but and it's kind of an inside-out swing, not really driving the ball. Seager has power, but you know it is such a big park. And a lot of credit to Billy Burns. Last year, much different than this year. We saw him in Arlington, Texas when he joined the club. How well he played in center, and this is another big yard here at Safeco. A lot of territory to cover, and he does it well.
So with 2 outs, here's Logan Morrison. Morrison, 5 homers, 9 RBIs. He's 2 for 8 in the series. Of course, the big hit, the walk-off home run on Friday night. His first career walk-off home run. What was that one, foul? Pitch there. Vogt coming back and into the seats. This was the hit on Friday that won it.
Dan Otero wanted the sinker down away a little bit more, and not surprised that Logan Morrison had a pretty good night, hit him all in the opposite field for a base hit early against the shift, and he jumped on the first pitch fastball from Dan Otero.
1-2 pitch, fastball away. Nancy Chavez has retired the first 5 in the ball game. Oh, setting up outside, and the ball's hit right back up the middle. Simeon throws to first, and it's not in time. He juggled, it rolled behind him. And Morrison's aboard. And that's going to be an error. Well, Simeon frustrated. It's no question a play that he should have made.
Well, it's almost, I mean, it's a base hit for Morrison if the shift is not being employed by the Athletics, and it's almost as if with Simeon with the shift, getting balls hit to him in an area where he's playing really behind second. And twice we saw it last night in the first inning and in this second inning this afternoon.
So here's Ackley, who takes a strike. That's the 9th error of the year for Marcus Simeon.
Remember in Anaheim, the first game started by Jesse Chavez, an error made at third when the ball hit the lip, and a bad throw by Brett Lawton. That's when Calhoun hit the 2-run home run, the only hit he gave up in that outing. But that was then. That was his first start. That was after pitching very effectively in Kansas City. Made the start against the Angels.
Yeah, that last relief appearance in Kansas City was 3 2/3 innings of shutout baseball, and then into the rotation.
And the unfortunate news about Jared Parker and A.J. Griffin. Pretty good chance that Jesse Chavez will stay in the rotation.
Yeah, it certainly changes everything.
Yep. 21 starts last year, and then players were acquired and moved him back to the bullpen.
The news on Jared Parker, it's a fractured elbow.
Can you pronounce the actual name?
No, I don't even want to. I've never heard of it before.
I haven't either. A very technical medical term that it's basically bad. I mean, it's for 60-day, put him on the 60-day DL, transferred him there. And of course, we hope the news about A.J. Griffin is a little bit better. It was a shoulder. He had the Tommy John surgery of the elbow, but the shoulder is his problem.
So Gray and Kazmir have been fine, but some struggles after those two.
And we show those same numbers with Felix and the Mariners.
Yep.
How Felix, of course, has been outstanding. And for Felix Hernandez, 5-0. J.A. Happ, who started last night.
Yeah, Happ's done a pretty good job. After that, wow, 3-15.
So the A's see 2 of the 3 that have recorded 10 wins of the total 13 of this ballpark.
2-2 pitch. Bounce to Sogard, who's got it. Side retired. So an error, but Morrison is stranded. Third inning coming up. No score. as our insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting of the A's 2015 season with breaking news, video, special features, and more only on CSNCalifornia.com.
And Joe, a great article today on Barry Zito and the life of going back to AAA, and very nicely done by Joe Stiglitz. And
Joe does a great job.
Barry Zito, and the one thing he talked about, 3 a.m. wake-up calls to catch flights.
A little different.
It's a little different in the show, but to give him a lot of credit for taking the year off and trying to come back. And what did you say about today? He's facing
Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton has his rehab
playing AAA. I know Hamilton got a bloop single off Zito in the first inning. So those two guys that have quite a bit of hardware between the two of them, facing off in AAA. How about that?
Well, and both really trying to make a comeback. Barry Zito a little bit different than Josh Hamilton, but it is good to have the rehab assignment, especially for Hamilton, as he will join the Rangers sometime.
2-1 the count to Sogard. He'll be followed by Burns and Simeon. Morrison handles a tough hop. He'll go to the bag himself. So that's out number 1 here in the third, and now back to the top of the order. I want to send out my Mother's Day wishes, happy Mother's Day wishes, to starting with my wife Amanda.
That's a good start.
Happy Mother's Day. She does a terrific job with the kids when I'm home, and an even better job when I'm gone. So if you have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, which we do, there's a lot going on. Soccer, Little League, basketball, football, school, Boy Scouts, a little bit of everything. She takes care of it all.
Absolutely. That's what good wives and mothers of children are good for. And when they get older, you'll enjoy that empty nest for about 3 days. And you'll say, where are the kids?
Where are they?
That's right. But
telling you.
My wife, Carol, raised our 2 daughters and our 3 grandchildren now. So happy Mother's Day to my wife as well.
Also want to send out a happy Mother's Day to my terrific mother-in-law, Trudy, who really does a great job helping us out, and we certainly appreciate that. So Trudy, if you're watching, happy Mother's Day. And last but not least, Ray, even though my mom passed away 23 years ago, I still want to say, hey, happy Mother's Day. She's watching A's baseball in a better spot than we are. How about that?
That's a great point.
So happy Mother's Day to Mike. Just a bit outside, so the count 2-2. Didn't miss by much.
Well, the pitch that was called a cruise, very similar, and maybe see the umpire looks to his left, indicating the pitch was a little bit outside.
Went out there again, and again close, but a bit off the plate. So a full count to Burns, who bounced out to Seager in the first inning.
Well, this is a dilemma for a hitter because he can go the fastball, he can throw the changeup that looks like a fastball.
And boy, he painted there. So he stayed outside with the fastball, and he finally grabbed the outside corner for strikeout number 3.
Well, just decided to throw, and again, if the hitter thinks about the changeup, and Burns started at first base.
So most career strikeouts by Venezuelan pitchers, and Felix Hernandez just ahead of Yohan Santana. How about that? Hit well to left. Smith going back, and that baby's gone. Simeon with a home run to give the A's a 1-0 lead.
I think with Felix Hernandez, because that's a second hit today, Simeon against King Felix, but I think you can guess first pitch fastball. He did and crushed it. So A's get on the board with a 2-out home run.
So number 4 for Simeon. Simeon's had a good series. Got 6 hits in this series. He's 6 for 11. So he continues to swing a hot bat.
the one I think we'll remember the most last year when Adam Dunn joined the club, and the first game was against the Mariners in Felix, and his first at bat hit a home run against King Felix in a 3-2 changeup.
That's right.
Big Adam Dunn, we hope is doing well in his retirement. Marcus Semien, you will not hear anything more beautiful if you're an A's fan or an A's player than that sound right there. That swing, great swing by Marcus Semien. That's what a home run sounds like, and there was a no doubter.
Swing and a miss. He struck out Reddick. So 4 strikeouts on the afternoon for Felix Hernandez, but the A's get on the board. Marcus Semien with his 4th home run of the year. So as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's the A's 1 and the Mariners nothing. All right, Semien with the home run. So 1-0 A's lead, bottom of the 3rd. Miller, Sucre, and Smith. Jesse Chavez has a run to work with. First pitch, a little strike called to Brad Miller.
Well, with Felix Hernandez pitching and the A's have 1 run, Jesse Chavez knows he may not be the recipient of a lot of run support, so taking advantage, he hopes, of this 1 given to him. Miller with that look of the shoes and the stirrup socks. I mean, that's a complete throwback uniform for him. I mean, those are the old style socks. I mean, to be able to find that color is unbelievable.
Sucre in the on deck circle may be even better because he has the stirrups pulled up a little higher. And see, right. Miller's stirrups are fairly low.
But Miller went with the blue shoes. They're the pink shoes from Sucre.
That's a good look, right?
That is. Think of Julio Cruz when I see those uniforms. Who played for the Mariners many years. Outstanding infielder. It's the
39th year of the Seattle Mariners. Came in 1977 as an expansion team. So you saw them come in, Ray, with the Blue Jays. Yeah. Blue Jays and the Mariners.
Actually, 77. Finished my 77 season with the Mariners. So I was there the first year, and it was very unfortunate in the month of September to spend the last couple of weeks and every day wake up at home with rain and then realize it's a dome and there was never a rain out. The old Kingdom, where the big football stadium, which evidently is pretty noisy over there, I guess, Ken, right? Football
holds the noise in.
Oh.
3-2 pitch is bounced to Davis. So Miller is retired, and that's the first out.
Well, the good thing about a pitcher that throws strikes, Jesse Chavez, as he has done now a couple of times where he's gone on the 3-2 count, did it to Weeks and struck him out, and then to Miller said, here's a fastball. I'm not going to try to fool you, just throw it. And the fewer base runners you can have and pitch out of the stretch, the better you're going to be.
The ninth man in the order is Jesus Sucre, and the first pitch a little outside. Mariners have been to the postseason 4 times in their 38 years of existence: 95, 97, 2000, and 2001. So they had a nice run. They had some really good teams in that stretch.
They have a banners high above right field, and you see that 2001. What a season they had.
That was the one where they had a pretty good feeling at it.
Yes, they did. There they are, and that's the longest. Of course, active droughts. It's postseason.
So just short last year of the postseason, and I feel like they got a good shot this year, even though they're off to a slow start. So 2 outs, and here's Seth Smith.
I think sadly for the Mariners, when they had their 2001 season to win that many games and be the Western Division champions, of course the A's also were in there, but to not be able to complete the deal, and especially after Lou Piniella, who managed them in 1990 with the Reds, went wire to wire with the Reds, and of course defeated the A's in the World Series, but came to the Mariners and thought he was going to do the same here, but unfortunately it did not happen. Unfortunately for the Mariners fans who had hoped that would be the magical year.
Well, those 4 years that they made it, all under Lou Piniella.
Yeah, exactly.
Toward Reddick, in and over a little bit. He's got it. Good inning for Jesse Chavez. So we're on to the 4th. Butler's going to lead it off, and the A's holding on to a 1-0 lead.
A's will return home May 12th when the A's will host the Boston Red Sox. 15,000 fans will walk away this green and gold fleece blanket that pays homage to Sean Doolittle's signature pose. Get tickets now at athletics.com/tickets. And remember, the Boston Red Sox in town for just one trip, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a special day on Tuesday. That Sean Doolittle fleece blanket, which is always a nice treat.
Butler to lead it off. Butler struck out in the first. Vogt to follow, and then Davis.
Yeah, as we have talked often the last few years with the scheduling being the way it is, see the Mariners, the Angels, the Rangers, and the Astros a lot of times, but East and the Central Division teams, once at home, once on the road.
Shallow fly ball towards center. Ackley is under it. Butler is retired. So one away here in the fourth, and that'll bring up Vodu at a base hit to left field. His first at bat.
Well, Cap, we know how the skipper grinds every time, but he'd like to send out a special Mother's Day wish to his mother, Judy Melvin, who is a huge A's fan. And you figure if you're the mother of Bob Melvin, you better be an A's fan because he grinds, and I'm sure Judy grinds as well. But Judy, you have a wonderful son as manager of the Athletics, and I think he's right at the top of the list of some of the best managers that have ever managed a game of baseball, at least from our standpoint with the A's.
Yeah, plus he's just a good all-around guy.
Absolutely.
And in the long run, that's the most important.
Well, he said, he's wearing that pink shirt. He's wearing it right there. And he said he talked to his mother and wished her a happy Mother's Day. And he said, Mom, I'm wearing a pink shirt. She said, no, you're not. So he took a picture and sent it to her.
So, yes, I am. More action for Ackley. And he's got it. So Voda's retired.
I think we have been around the game long enough to see managers and how difficult it is at times to watch things happen. And there's so many cameras everywhere. And the thing about Bob Melvin and really managers in general, how they hold their composure when difficult times are present. And that's a special person, and that's just killing them inside. But Bob Melvin wants to win as badly as anybody. He's had a lot of success with the Athletics, and he wants to continue.
First pitch to Ike Davis. Well, we've laughed about this many times, but the fans want the manager to flip the spread, go in the clubhouse and throw the food around, let the players know that he's upset. It's like, well, if you can explain what good that would do outside, you'd have a bunch of hungry ball players, and then they're really cranky.
And then today's spreads are expensive. You'd have to pay for the whole thing. When the spreads were relatively inexpensive, you can ask Steve Vucinich how much he spends at home for the spreads. Ted Walsh here the same way on the road. But no, you're right. I mean, it's different times.
Yeah.
And I remember the late Alvin Dark, who was manager in Cleveland, walked into Detroit's old Tiger Stadium, and he flipped the complete spread. And the club, he finally put out a good one, and he flipped it. So it made us all angry, and him as well.
Exactly.
But Alvin paid for the whole thing. But no, it's just things you don't do today because the players are the ones that perform. And don't tell me a third consecutive umpire gets nailed, and he did. This is Will Little, just above the belt buckle, and Ike Davis as well as Sucre asking if he's okay. So we have, I think you see something new every day. How about Randazzo? Last night it was Phil Cuzzy, and now Will Little today. Three consecutive games that umpires have been hit. So it's not been a particularly great series for them, but they're still out here doing their job.
2-2 pitch runs off the plate to Davis. So now full count. And that one off the plate a touch, and it's a 2-out walk.
After Simmons hit the first pitch fastball last inning for the only run of the game, Felix Hernandez might be a little bit less reluctant to throw the ball towards the middle of the plate. And that time Ike Davis has power as he displayed in Minneapolis to right center. Kept the ball away from it, just ran off too much. So a good take by Ike Davis to get on base for 2 outs.
So here's Laurie, who struck out in the second inning. Chopped to short. Miller waits, shuffles to second, and he's got it side retired. So a runner left. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Weeks, Cano, and Cruz. A's leading 1-0. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. Out at Pike's Market, you can get some fresh fish if you would like. People like to just stand there and watch, and gentlemen working right there, they put on a little show for you.
Yeah, they throw it around all the time.
Fish. Yeah. 1-0 A's lead, bottom of the fourth inning.
I think one time Birdie went down there and took video of that, didn't he?
Yeah, this morning. First pitch to Weeks. Fastball off the plate.
Yeah, Birdie's with the A's on this entire trip. He's done a great job. Tommy Adza will be back. The director. Sure, back at the Coliseum tomorrow night.
Weeks struck out swinging. First at bat, one of 2 strikeouts for Jesse Chavez. He's only allowed 1 base runner, and that was Logan Morrison reaching on an error in the second inning. So he's been sharp early.
Yeah, Chavez kind of indicating with that last pitch, a cutter that stayed down.
3-0 pitch inside. 4-pitch walk to lead off the fourth. And now the big hitter's coming up.
Just getting a little bit under those pitches to Ricky Weeks.
So now Cano steps in, grounded out to second. He's 4 for 10 in the series.
Surprised that he did not swing at that pitch, just because 4 pitches to Weeks, but Robinson Cano knows that Jesse Chavez can throw strikes and figured he's going to throw a first pitch strike, but Cano taken all the way.
Cruz to follow. After Cruz, it would be Seager. Weeks with a pretty good lead at first. Angels leading the Astros 3-0 after 5 innings. Feldman and Richards, the 2 starters in that one. And that is just foul. Angels just scored all 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Garrett Richards back is a tremendous addition to that ball club and the pitching staff. And
that's the final game of the 4-game series. The Astros have won 2 of the first 3. Houston with a 6-game lead over the Angels in the West.
Yeah, that's early, but those games are 2-game swings.
Sure.
And you're dealing with the first place team.
1-2 pitch right there. Strike 3 called. Perfect pitch. Cano may not have liked it, but that looked like a very good pitch. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th, and that gets us to our true story, which is brought to you by McDonald's. We call them the AL West Macho Men. Cruz and Vogt. Look at where they are in slugging, 1st and 3rd. RBIs, 1st and 2nd. OPS, 1st and 2nd. And RBIs per at bat, 1st and 5th. So 2 guys off to great starts.
Macho Man, I like that.
Yeah. AL West Macho Man.
Yeah. A lot of fastballs to Nelson Cruz this afternoon, and go back to the first inning last night. He had a curveball with 2 strikes, and Stephen Vogt for his catchers today with Casey Chavez, that is, in the bullpen. That allows the catcher, who is not in the game, to stay on the bench. So Stephen Vogt able to watch the game last night on the bench as Feckley started. They also caught on Friday night. And you get quite familiar with teams in your own division because you see them a lot. And you see how this season progresses with Nelson Cruz back in the American League West. A lot of time in the American League West with the Texas Rangers, Nelson Cruz. So, as he said when he signed with the Mariners, very familiar with this division.
The 1 year in Baltimore was a good one for him as he veered off course and went to the AL East. He hit 40 home runs last year.
Well, the outside fastball, a little late swing by Cruz, and that was a late sign as well.
Very
they
late.
signed him, and of course it was a 1 year deal. Turned out being very well because he got a 4-year deal here.
Diving attempt by Sogard. He can't get it. And Weeks is going to try for third. The throw just a bit offline. It's first and third, 1 out. So Nelson Cruz goes the other way with a hard hit ground ball past Sogard.
And there's a difference of the low fastball and the high fastball. You saw what happened swinging at the low ones. That was above the belt. And when Sogard planning to pull, went against the defense. And instead of it being a nice 4-6-3 double play ground ball, the height of the fastball, and you could tell that Cruz a little bit late swinging as he could not catch up to the low fastball, but the high one worked out perfectly for him.
So that'll bring up Seager, RBI opportunity for the third baseman for Seattle.
Seager jumped on the first pitch fastball, almost drove it out to left center his first at bat, and this at bat looking for a ground ball. Chavez.
Vogt blocks it.
Stephen Vogt, if nothing else, after Friday night, needed a lot of rest because he did a great job blocking pitches in the dirt. And that was a good block there, trying to keep the double play in order.
Inside, and now it's 2-0. Seager is 1 for 9 in the series. And now 3-0. Logan Morrison is the on-deck hitter, another left-handed hitter. Never know here. You don't want to just lay one in there to Seager.
I was thinking the same thing.
And he rips it. Reddick back, can't get it over his head. Off the base of the wall. 1 run scores. Cruz to third, Seager to second, and he just gets in ahead of the tag. So on 3-0, Seager took a good rip, and he knocks in a run with a double.
And not surprised, and he swung on a first pitch and a fastball belt high. That's pretty good 3-0 swing. And sometimes guys come out of the shoes and get on top or get under a ball, but came close to being a 3-run home run. If Reddick had played the ball off the wall without it going over his head, he probably would have thrown out Seager at second had he still attempted to go.
So double number 8 for Seager, RBI number 16, and now the infield for the A's comes in. So you probably don't like to bring your infield in the 4th inning, but you realize who's pitching for the other team, and you know you're probably not going to get a whole bunch of runs off Hernandez. Morrison reached on the Simeon error in the 2nd inning.
Now that time going inside, actually back-to-back pitches, because Morrison last night and this afternoon was taking the outside fastballs back up the middle, but the positioning by the A's defensively with Simeon, they've been right to him, but been very hard hit. So he likes to extend his arms as he did Friday night with the game winner.
Davis grabs it, broken bat, line drive, and that's a big out there. The 2nd out of the inning.
Off the end of the bat, there's your opening up and pitch a little bit, probably not where Stephen Vogt wanted, as he had to reach back. Fortunately, it did break the bat and right to Ike Davis. So the infield end there really helped.
So here's Dustin Ackley. Everybody goes back into a normal defensive set. Ackley grounded out. His first at bat. 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position this year. Oh, a slow start for Ackley. He does have 3 home runs, one of them against the A's.
Sonny Gray early in the season. You're right.
And that one is belted down the right field line, but well fouled. Hit it a long ways.
Yeah, it's almost as if somebody said to Ackley, they're going to try to pitch you in, because this was almost at his head. And tomahawk it, fortunately foul. But the amazing thing today, Will Little, the home plate umpire, has been giving the low strike a couple of times. He struck out Cruz, he struck out Cano. And Jesse Chavez seems to be getting under, pushing the ball a little bit, elevating the pitches, and maybe Stephen Vogt trying to tell him get on top a little bit more and try to get a strikeout.
Line drive, left center field, Fold on the move, can't get it. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and a huge hit for Dustin Ackley.
Wow.
Two out, 2-run double.
And a leadoff walk to start the best. So he tomahawked the fastball in. Jesse Chavez goes down and away. But again, belt high, not down where he wanted it. And it's surprising to see Jesse Chavez making the mistakes on the pitch location, because he is usually very, very good around the plate.
So 2 doubles, single, and a walk has produced 3 runs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mariners didn't have any hits in the first 3 innings. Sogard, what a play. Gets up, throws to first in time. Sogard's great play, saves a run. But the Mariners do score 3. We're headed to the 5th. 3-1 Seattle.
Mariners will receive a pair of A's branded mustache socks driven by Chevrolet. Get your tickets now by calling 877-493-BALL or visit athletics.com/tickets.
Top of the 5th inning, Mariners now have a 3-1 lead behind Felix Hernandez. He's got 4 strikeouts. He has walked 1. And we'll see what he can do with a possible shutdown inning. First pitch to full, down and away. It's the cotton candy experiment. Looks like it's going well. Sam Fuld is in a slump.
That's why catching that line drive by Ackley would have been great, but just hit too hard and over his head.
He's 2 for his last 36. That's a slump, folks. I will say this, he hasn't hit into much luck lately. He's hit some balls hard. But started out hot, has cooled off. There's that low strike. And it may look low, but Will Little has called it from the start of the ball game. Three and 2. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Fuld through his bat. He thought it was ball 4. Will Little thinks otherwise, and that is strikeout number 5 for Felix Hernandez. There's a milestone, folks, and it's a big one.
And not a bad pitch either. Outside corner. Probably the pitch before that was worse than the one he was called out on, but.
So our Ford right choice has to do with that strikeout right there. In Major League history, he is now the 4th youngest pitcher to reach 2,000 career strikeouts behind Blyleven, McDowell, Walter Johnson, and then there sits Felix Hernandez, 29 years old, 29 and 32 days. So that was strikeout number 2,000. So congratulations on a great milestone for Felix Hernandez. One tapped slowly, fair ball. Sogard's retired. So Bert Blyleven was 28 years old and 97 days when he got his 2,000 strikeout, and then your old friend Sam McDowell was 28 years old, 228 days. So Sam started young, right?
Yes, he did. 66. 66. Caught him in 70, and he could strike out. He had, to me, 4 of the best pitches of anybody we've seen. Fastball, mid-upper 90s, curveball over the top, slider unhittable by right-handers, and one of the best changeups in the game. Surprisingly, won 20 games just one time.
Now, Felix Hernandez made his Major League debut in 2005. He was 19 years old when he did that. He signed with the Mariners when he was 16 years old from Venezuela. So he got a young start and got to the big leagues quickly. And he's been terrific really since day one. 0-2 to Billy Burns. Burns lines it, but it's just foul. So that was 2,000 career strikeouts. A little short of Nolan. It'd be a tough number to reach as well.
Well, those top 10 all retired, and most in the Hall of Fame. And of course, one's going this year, Randy Johnson. But
Gaylord Perry, high on that list.
In a 5-man rotation, a lot of things are going to be hard to accomplish, like a 300-win season and the strikeouts. Nolan Ryan's strikeout record, 5,700 plus, won't be broken. Ricky Henderson will always be known as the strikeout victim number 5,000. That was in Arlington, Texas, against Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan. But Felix has had a tremendous career, and the fact that he wants to stay with the Mariners and try to accomplish a lot more than just winning games and strikeouts himself.
Well, he's got the Cy Young, perfect game, lots of strikeouts, but he has yet to pitch in the postseason. And he pitched on a lot of Mariners teams that just did not score a lot of runs. A little bit better now. Another foul ball. Good battle here from Burns, who was grounded out and struck out.
I remember he won the Cy Young Award. That was following Zach Greinke, who back-to-back years, and I think Tim Lincecum in that same category, like 13, 14 wins.
Yeah, not a lot of wins.
ERAs were unbelievable, and of course ERA is very important. You limit 1 to 2 runs per game. You may not win as many, but you're very dominant. That boy Billy just run up the pitch count. Maybe get him out, because this is started 0-2, and that's 5 after getting 2 strikes that he's fouled off.
Hernandez won the ERA title last year, 2.14, but finished second in the Cy Young Award to Greg Kluber from the Indians. This one may be playable, and it is. And a nice play by Seager right in front of the A's dugout. He's not going to get any help over there. And he made a nice play. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Felix Hernandez. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Mariners. Hour before every game, post-game, and on Sportsnet Central. All the way through the playoffs, coverage begins tomorrow at 5:30. So it's game 4, and the Warriors are trailing 2-1. So a little pressure on the Warriors tomorrow night. Need to win on the road. So they need a big performance. 3-1 here in Seattle. Mariners scoring 3 last innings. Sucre, Smith, and Weeks against Jesse Chavez. Hit hard into right field, the base hit. Sucre goes the other way for a leadoff single.
Not surprised with that, because he flew out to right field. He does not play a lot, and to be honest, I thought Mike Zunino, who handles and catches Felix Hernandez very well, played last night, and Sucre gets the start this afternoon. So he flew out to right field. The second out of the 3rd inning, with this time a sharp single to right field.
So 4 hits off Jesse Chavez, and here's Seth Smith. Rangers won today 2-1. They beat the Rays in Florida. Adrian Beltre hit career home run number 398. That ties him with Dale Murphy for 54th on the all-time home run list. I think Dale Murphy thinks about 2 balls that he hit really well and the wind held them up.
And many think Murph should be in the Hall of Fame, but Adrian Beltre, I think, with his career, when it's finally over, in the mass numbers, it'll be hard to keep him out.
And the Rangers get their 13th win. That one's driven to the gap. That's trouble, and that's going to get down. One hops the wall. Sucre is being held at third. So Seth Smith with a double to left center field, second and third, and nobody out.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of credit has to be given to the Mariners because they're taking pitches exactly where they've been pitched. And again, that location, the fastball that was elevated a little bit too much, and instead of the hitters trying to pull pitches that are up and on the outside corner, they're going opposite field, as Ackley did last inning, and now Seth Smith in this inning.
So a little different results the second time through the lineup against Jesse Chavez.
Well, a couple of things happened last inning that's so uncharacteristic of Jesse Chavez. And 4-pitch walk to Weeks to start the inning, and then you go down to Seager, falls behind 3-0 and throws him a fastball that he can hit for the double. And Jesse Chavez very rarely goes to 3-ball count, yet in the same inning, 2 batters he did that, and unfortunately the one hit the double.
So here's Weeks infield in. First pitch is outside to Weeks. Weeks led off the 4th with a walk, and that got it all started. Swing and a miss. Weeks will strike out a lot, and that's what Jesse Chavez needs here.
To challenge fastball and could not catch up to it.
Weeks this year has 15 strikeouts in 49 at bats. Swing and a miss. So now it's 1-2. Castro gets up. Castro. Good pitch, struck him out looking.
Now that's the location Jesse wants to throw his fastball. After blowing the ball past Weeks and now the outside corner, a little two seam coming back to the outside corner. And the height, that's the key. Look at the location at the knees, not elevated thigh or belt. And if he's a pretty good hitter, that's a great pitch.
So now it's Cano. Cano 0 for 2 today, 4 for 11 in the series. Infield stays in, and there's a shot toward Reddick in right center field. He gets over there, and he makes a nice catch. Sucre will tag. He'll come in to score. Smith goes to third. It's a sacrifice fly for Robinson Cano, and it's a 4-1 Seattle lead. Nice play by Reddick.
Well, he hit it hard and jumped on the first pitch. And Robinson Cano will take some pitches, but if he gets in a run scoring situation, fortunately Reddick got to the ball to save at least one run, even though the trailing runner Smith tagged and went to third.
So Cruz steps in, 2 outs now with Smith at third. Cruz today has struck out and then singled and scored in the 4th. on the outside corner, took a little off. Nice pitch by Jesse Chavez.
This changeup. Watch this ball float back out on the outside corner, and one of the good ones thrown by Chavez.
Cruz is going to ask for timeout. So he went after that fastball away, and Jesse Chavez really keeping the ball away from a lot of these hitters.
And another fastball that was elevated, and Cruz has exaggerated open stance, and as the pitch is coming, he does close it up. And I think it's good to see that the A's pitchers, or at least Chavez in this game, staying outside, although this time going in, and does a good job.
So Jesse Chavez, a couple of strikeouts in the inning, but another run for Seattle. 6th inning coming up. Mariners 4, A's 1.
Luxurious suite is located above the first base bag and includes an extensive high-end food and beverage package featuring chicken kebabs, Capri sandwiches, sausages, sliders, salads, desserts, soda, water, beer, wine, and much, much more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/president. And Kyle, as much as we have talked about this, I would think by the time we get back, that's going to be sold out every game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I hope so.
Yeah, because people can hear that menu and think about the President's Suite and just feel like they're presidents every day anyway. So they got to take advantage of all those great things. And the President's Suite at the Coliseum.
The Red Sox and then the White Sox coming in the next homestand starting tomorrow night. 11 for 20 on first pitch strikes for Felix Hernandez today. Simeon has had no problem with King Felix. He singled in the first, homered in the third.
Well, Marcus Simeon, of course, upset with himself last night that he made the 2 errors, even though he had a very good night offensively. But as he says every day, he says, I just want to get better and better. And I mean, this is the first full year for him to be able to have a position.
That one hit high and deep to left. Smith going back. Still going back, and that baby's gone. Simeon has homered again.
Have a day. Have a series.
So that one is the towering drive that just got over the wall in left center.
You could put him in the category of multi home run game, first in his career. Stephen Vogt's done it a couple of times already this year. So nice going Marcus Semien. So gets a run back after the Mariners scored 3 in 1 inning. It's not many guys can say I own Felix Hernandez.
That's right.
And I don't think Marcus Semien will say that, because Felix Hernandez will. I mean, even the first pitch in this at bat that he just hit the home run was not a great pitch after he had a home run in the first offering.
Semien just a couple of at bats against Hernandez before today. And 2 pitches in the dirt.
Well, again, watch Semien pull the hands in on the fastball in, and maybe it leaked a little bit as he opened up. That's recognizing a pitch very, very quickly to be able to hit the ball left field, especially on a 2-strike pitch.
On the ground to the shortstop. Miller has it, throws, and they just got a hustling Reddick. So 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Angels still leading the Astros 3-0, top of the 7th inning. And I just realized that Garrett Richards is pitching for the Angels, and he has not allowed a hit yet.
Good.
How about that?
Think the Astros know that?
They do. Although that,
I mean, the way
they
they're
have just jinxed Garrett Richards.
well,
but
the way they're playing, you'd think that they don't have any idea about anything. I mean, did he just get a hit?
Yeah.
Somebody did.
Jason Castro just got a hit, so the no-hitter is gone.
See, Kat, we're about 3 hours away from Southern California. If you can make one statement and jinx them that many miles away.
I wish I had that power.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be sitting here if you
No,
did.
that's probably not. Probably not be here. Good pitch there. Butler takes a 2-0 breaking ball, and now it's 2-1. 82 pitches for Felix Hernandez. He's got 5 strikeouts, and he has walked 1. Another curveball, and that was a good one. 2-2. Doesn't throw the curveball a lot, but he snaps it in there pretty good when he does.
Well, and really, if you watch Hernandez, maybe he does not have the history against Marcus Semien. Over time, when Semien faces him, he'll probably get different types of pitches as well.
Tap slowly to third. Seager, the Gold Glover, throws out Butler for the second out.
So 2 very good curveballs, and then came in with a hard sinker change-up that just nosedived.
So Vogt will hit. A single and a fly ball to center field for Vogt. And there's a shot toward right center, and that'll get down for a hit. Ackley cuts it off. So Stephen Vogt is 2 for 3.
Sometimes a rest for a player works out well. Stephen Vogt today with 2 solid hits. On the left field, this a shot to right center. And last night off. Of course, coming back to his home area where he spends the off seasons.
So here's Davis trying to keep the inning going. There's the curve in first strike. So now mixing in a few more curveballs is Hernandez. Hernandez trying to become the first 6-game winner in the American League. We do have a 6-game winner in the National League, and it happened today. Bartolo Colon went 6 innings, got the win for the Mets. So Colon is 6-1. Mets get their 20th win. So Big Bart having a good year. 6-1.
Swinging the bat well too. Spin himself in the ground, swinging and missing. Helmet flying off.
And his at bats are becoming must-see TV.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch. Here it is in the dirt.
I thought one of the best Bartolo Colon plays was when he stepped off and had AJ Przinsky in a rundown and
right.
chased him down between first and second. That's two speed merchants going after each other.
Don't sleep on Cologne's speed, though. You know that.
No, I know.
And that's a foul ball down the first base line.
Morrison tried to get the ball before it went foul.
So Davis putting on a good battle here against Felix Hernandez. Near second base, and Miller picks it up, steps on the bag, side retired. Semien gets the A's a little bit closer with his second home run of the day. So it's now 4-2 Seattle after 6.
It all started with this. Marcus Semien, a home run off of King Felix Hernandez. That was the first pitch he saw from him in his second at bat. And then, actually, this is the big blow. A couple of runners on base over the head of Fold in left center. And then Felix Hernandez again started painting the outside corner. That was number 2,000 for the young man. Marcus Semien, a fastball inside with his second home run of the game. First multi-home run game. The A's have scored 2, and both thanks to Marcus Semien, who has a perfect day of 3 hits. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world.
Kyle Seager to lead it off, bottom of the 6th inning. 77 pitches for Jesse Chavez. Swing and a miss, took a little long. Seager had an RBI double in the 4th. The 4th inning is when the Mariners scored 3 times to take the lead. So quick 0-2.
Seager swing at the first or the 3-0 fastball in his last at bat. And I think one of the best things a manager does during spring training, especially with a relatively new team, and of course Seager, Gold Glove winner, but they try to give as many hitters 3-0 swing green light just to see if they can handle a 3-0. Sometimes
and he can do it.
He can do it. and some guys just change their approach and everything and figure they're going to get a 3-0 fastball, a cookie they can hit for 9 miles, but you have to maintain your normal swing, and Seager did do it and almost hit a 3-run home run. Instead, it was a ringing double to right field.
So getting 3-0 and then swinging out of your shoes, that doesn't do any good.
No.
It may look good, like, oh, I'm trying to hit one,
but it changes everything. Yeah, and you know, even Reddick has admitted on this road trip times when he tried to hit home runs. You just don't do it. And not many guys can think, all right, I'm going to get a pitch, I'm going to hit a home run. But it's usually on mistake pitches or just trying to maintain your normal swing. And Seager did it on 3-0. He just kept his cool and drilled it.
Lowry shading his eyes. And right on the bag. He actually caught it about the same time he was stepping on the bag. That's pretty good.
Glasses look good under that A's logo. Well, the good news, he caught the ball, because when you have to use your hand to shade the sun, your eyes the sun, and then comes out of the sun and you find it with your sunglasses on your hat, then it's kind of overcast a little bit, not a real bright sun, but maybe some guys just don't feel that they want to wear the glasses unless it's a real bright sunny day.
First pitch to Morrison. Call the ball. Astros got 1 run in the top of the 7th, so the Angels leading 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. So they broke up the Garrett Richards no-hitter and got a runoff. Sogard scoops, and Morrison is retired. You know, I got to figure it out why I'm a little confused today. Sogard's got his pants down.
Yeah, no, it didn't even look like him, did it?
And it doesn't. I mean, we're so used to having
that's not even him.
The pant legs up. Up around the knees.
That's not him.
Full sock showing, and he looks completely different.
And you know why I think? Because he doesn't have any pink stirrups.
Well, maybe true.
He's got the pink shoes, pink wristbands, sweatshirt, T-shirt, whatever. And I bet, like Ackley, or is it Ackley or Miller with the pink? I bet just the green and yellow stirrups just don't go with the pink shoes. So he deviated from his normal style.
So the pant legs down for Sogard today.
They'll be back tomorrow, I bet. Back with the green and gold.
So 2-1 to Ackley. Ackley, to show you that highlight, the big 2-run double in the 4th inning.
All I remember 5 years ago, Dallas Braden pitched in the perfect game on Mother's Day, was Big Dominic authenticating everything. I mean, you look at it, all the pink items that were just used for the one game, and he was authenticating everything.
And a 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Jesse Chavez, so he has a good 6th inning. And we're headed to the 7th. 4-2, Mariners lead the A's.
the Athletics all season in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Mariners 4, A's 2, 7th inning. Felix Hernandez back to work, facing Laurie, Fold, and Sogard.
Well, Felix Hernandez doing something today that the 2 previous starters has not done. That's go beyond 5 innings.
Sucre by his dugout, and he caught it right in front of his manager, who had to be impressed. Nice play by Jesus Sucre.
Well, they got to the rail, #1. That's the most important thing, and then reached as far as he could, and that is one great play to reach over. And it gets the congratulations for Rick Waits, the pitching coach, after he caught the ball. He could have been helping him. You know, instead he said, "You better catch it for my pitcher, then I'll congratulate you," which he did. Nice play by Sucre.
1 out for Fold.
Look at that. Just they're watching the ball more than Sucre. See, that's what the rail does. It helps prevent guys going in the dugout. Big Mo Vaughn with the Angels just signed. There's Rick Waits, a pitching coach. But when Mo signed with the Angels and fell into the visiting dugout, that's when they decided to put up the rail in front of the dugout in Anaheim. And when he fell, free agent contract, got hurt, or at least he got hurt.
Should have never left Boston.
That's right. Should have stayed there. Big Mo. That's the rail. It's pretty, well, it's pretty much in every dugout across baseball, American National League, except for Coliseum, we know, so far away.
See the pitch count, 96 now for Felix Hernandez.
I think Lowell McClendon would like to get him through this inning, and let's see, he's got an extra day this time because
the Mariners, yeah, they have off tomorrow, and then they will host the Padres on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's one of those 2-game interleague series.
And he pitched Monday, and they had the off day Thursday, right. So he got the 6th day, so it might go a little bit longer. But we know that Felix Hernandez is going to pitch every 5th day regardless. There's an off day, of course. They'll give him an extra day, but not mess around with the pitch count.
Hernandez off the mound, fires to first, 2 away. Against the Athletics for Felix Hernandez, 2.58, lowest career ERA versus the Athletics. He's on the list, and he's got a chance to move past Jenkins and Weaver.
One of that list of 6 pitchers, you're looking at Dobson, Fergie Jenkins, 4-man rotation.
Makes a difference.
It sure does.
So this will be pitch number 100. Sogard has grounded out twice, both times to the first baseman. He's able to just kind of float that pitch in there, turn it over a little bit. Good movement. Nasty pitch there. That's the curveball, and you see how good that pitch is.
12-6.
Setting up outside with a fastball. And tails down and away to Sogard.
It seems like when whoever the catcher is, in this case Sucre, it's kind of making a suggestion to Felix. Felix is going to call his own game. If Secret start putting signs down and Felix nods okay, then they'll go with it. Change up to the curveball.
And Sogard went around. Sogard going at it with Will Little pretty good. You don't see Sogard do that very often, but it's a strikeout, and it's strikeout number 6 for Felix Hernandez. 7th inning stretch from Safeco Field. It's 4-2 Mariners over the A's. This was the last strikeout, which got Sogard a little hot under the collar with home plate umpire Will Little.
I think Sogard was upset because Will Little made the call on the check swing without appealing it to third. And that probably the biggest thing we'll see here. That probably would have been called a strike.
I think so.
By Phil Cousy. I know a lot of times we talk about, I know I do, about deferring to the first and third base umpire. Hard for a home plate umpire to make the call, but Will Little thought he had made the right call, and looking at the replay, looked like he did.
So Jesse Chavez back out there. He's got 6 strikeouts today, 5 ground ball outs, and 7 fly ball outs.
Well, it looks like Felix might be finished after 7 as the bullpen is busy. You get over 100 pitches with Felix. Yeah. It's rare if you don't see the bullpen come in after that.
So Miller takes the first pitch strike. Couple of ground outs by Miller. Thought he had hit in the 4th, but Sogard made a nice play. So a quick 0-2. So Miller steps out. Vogt wants it outside. It's in the dirt. So 92 pitches for Jesse.
395 against the Angels in his second start. Went 5 innings of that game. Was 7 1/3 for 87 in his last start.
Toward Reddick. Reddick getting back. Still going back. And he makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Reddick, a good jump as he always seems to get.
Well, the key there is no panic, as he went back casually and just turned around and made the over-the-shoulder catch. Yeah. If you're a hitter and you start running and you hear the crowd, you think, man, I could sit a double. Nope. And then, just how quickly it descends.
Here's Jesus Sucre, singled and scored in the 5th.
You see the defensive plays at this level, Camp, which you kind of get spoiled when you see some of the defense, although the A's have made a few errors. But talking to Fernando Rodriguez about Barry Zito. Of course, he had been at AAA where Barry's pitching today, and I said, how's he doing? And he said, well, a ground ball here that should have been 2 that wasn't, or a fly ball that should have been caught that wasn't. And said usually that's the difference between AAA and big leagues. And usually defense is the biggest difference.
And listen, I mean, somebody like Barry, who's not going to strike out a lot of guys, he's going to need defense.
Exactly.
Mike Davis is coming over, but it'll be into the seats.
Fernando has put him in a position to pitch in very important games. As he has had 2 outstanding outings.
Remember Mejica, who was just traded to the A's, will be with the team tomorrow.
Right. Ryan Davis in for Steve Busnich today. Actually was having a uniform jersey made up.
Nice.
Get it all ready. At least one. As the Mariners have an in-house, I guess, a seamstress on the person to be able to sew the number and the name on the back of the jersey. And so they would get the gold and the white when they get to Oakland. But depending what Scott Kazmir usually at times will wear green. So if that's the only one Mojica has, I think that's what they'll be wearing tomorrow night against Boston.
So the A's will have to make a roster move tomorrow with Mejica coming in. We'll see what pitcher goes out. But Mejica just a couple years ago was an all-star with the Cardinals as their closer. So try to regain his form.
I'm sure it'll be a little strange for him when he shows up tomorrow night and dresses in the A's clubhouse and goes out to look at his former team across the way.
That's right.
You know, John Lester, when he joined the club last year, he used the same glove that he was using for the Red Sox, and the logo from the manufacturer was still in the red color of the Boston Red Sox.
Can't have that.
No, but it may be. I don't know if he thought he was going back, but ended up going to the Cubs. So evidently he has a new one that has the blue manufacturer's logo on it.
Starting to pitch a little bit better for the Cubs after a rough start for Lester.
Weather should not be a problem because it's cold in Boston just like Chicago. So and by the way, it snowed in Denver. How about that?
Yeah,
Did they
playing
play the game.
Yeah, the field was covered with snow this morning, but grounds crew got it cleared off.
Well, that's going to be it. Looks like Bob Melvin. This is probably more the pitch count. And last thing he wanted to do is have Jesse have to leave with 2 outs, but he's got to go to the bullpen because of the 103 pitches for him.
So first walk of the afternoon for Jesse, and it's going to be his last pitch. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. innings. And he's now getting ready for the Red Sox. These are the pitching matchups for the 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Rick Porcello against Scott Kazmir, Justin Masterson and Drew Pomeranz on Tuesday. And then Wednesday's a day game, Wade Miley and Sonny Gray. So that is the matchups coming up against the A's and the Red Sox. So
this is some inflated earned run averages for those 3 starters. Yeah. But, you know, when the A's came in to play the Mariners this weekend, you thought you had a chance to do something special against the Mariners, and trying to avoid a sweep today is Jesse Chavez. Really just 2 bad innings. He gave up 4 runs and 5 hits combined in the 4th and 5th innings.
Yep.
And that's it.
Outside of that, he didn't get much. But I don't think we can eliminate the 4th inning.
Exactly. And eliminate the fact that he's had 2 run support, which I think we had a note at the beginning of the telecast about his lack of run support. But as he said, if you don't get a lot of run support, you can't give up runs and base runners. And he was very quick to point that out.
It's Ruggiano who's the pinch runner, number 12. And Justin Ruggiano running for Seth Smith. Those Red Sox won today 6-3. They have been struggling big time. So they win. They salvaged the final game of their series in Toronto. So they will probably going through customs right now, Ray.
Well, and Alan Craig left to go yesterday after being sent out, and a little bit of a surprise, I'm sure, for he as well as the Red Sox.
Red Sox now with their win today 14-17. Alan Craig, what a mystery, huh?
Yeah.
He was a really, really good player with the Cardinals just a couple of years ago. 2-0 to Weeks.
Well, maybe it's more of the Cardinals thing and how well players do play well in St. Louis.
Maybe.
Enjoy that sea of red and huge crowds, Busch Stadium.
2-0 pitch to Weeks, swing and a miss.
I know when Mark McGwire was traded to the Cardinals, and I said, Mac, you're going to love it because that's the only team in town, and no matter what you do, they'll never boo you. And of course, hard to boo him anyway, but he loved playing in St. Louis. As probably every player, Mike Andretti talks about his years in St. Louis as a bench coach.
And now 3-1 to Weeks. Well, when Matt Holliday got traded there, it didn't take him long to sign a long extension. I think he realized about a week in that, you know what, this is pretty good.
That's right. Plus, he got back to the National League where he was hitting home runs, because with the A's, he didn't do it. But Cardinals, yes, and he's had some great seasons there.
Ruggiano has a good lead at first. And that's a walk. So now 2 on, 2 out, and you got to face Cano. So Kurt Young's going to come out.
They got to get the third out and get back in the dugout, because this is a tough part of the batting order to try to navigate through. But Ruggiano getting the lead that he got, as you mentioned, that might have been just enough to disrupt the concentration of Fernando Rodriguez.
So there's your runners, Ruggiano and Weeks. Cano with a sac fly. That was in the 5th inning, picking up his 10th RBI of the year. First pitch is in the dirt. Cano is also grounded out and struck out.
Stephen Wood having a backhand. Low fastball from Rodriguez. Remember his first 2 outings, he was perfect.
Missed outside, 2-0. So Jesse Chavez got the first 2 outs. And then walks Smith. And now a couple of runners on. Good swing by Cano. Nice. A 2-0 pitch, and he had a good rip. Rodriguez is ready. Up and away. So now it's 3-1. Nelson Cruz is in the on-deck circle. I guess, Ray, you still don't have to throw a pitch right down the middle. You do have a base open, but you don't want things to get out of control here in the 7th. And it's low, and he walked him. So now, thanks to 3 consecutive walks, Nelson Cruz will hit with the bases loaded.
And not rid of the guy that you want to have to face when you have to throw a strike. Important thing for Fernando Rodriguez to continue to throw his best stuff, not try to just throw a strike and lay the ball in.
Cruz with 8 career grand slams. Today he's 1 for 3, a single and a couple of strikeouts. He has scored a run. First pitch, strike, outside corner. Angel Castro gets up. Curve for a strike, and a good one. So Fernando Rodriguez drops this one in there nicely.
Well, that's a hittable curveball too, but evidently Cruz wasn't looking for it. How about a high fastball? Look at that target.
And it is high, 1-2.
That looked like the old style.
The 1940s?
Yeah, it had the chest protector that extended down between the legs and stand up high, but a little bit too high.
High and foul again, so a good battle. That was the look Jesse Chavez had in Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same way.
Tyler Clippard got out of it.
Yeah.
Again high, and now it's 2-2. So you got to throw a strike here. You never know what happens if you let it get to 3-2.
Yeah.
Tap slowly. Or he's going to wait. He'll step on the bag at third, and Fernando Rodriguez gets out of it. And when it's all said and done, the Mariners do not score. We're going to the 8th, 4-2 Seattle.
Afternoon, 3 hits against King Felix, and that's home run number 1. First pitch fastball, and then home run number 2. First career 2-home run game for the A's shortstop. And an afternoon that he will always remember, especially against one of the best in the game, and that is Felix Hernandez. Our Honda player of the game, Marcus Semien.
So the A's will send the top of their order up. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts, as Charlie Furbush comes in. Furbush has pitched in each of the first 2 games of this series.
As in every reliever they've used a lot, and Furbush is in that category. Of course, today Lloyd McClendon trying to get 6 outs versus 12 in the first 2 starts by the pitchers.
Burns swings at the first pitch, pops it foul. So Ackley now in left field, and Ruggiano comes in the game as the pinch runner, and now he's in center field. So 0-1 to Burns, who's 0 for 3. Another pop up, and this will reach the seats. So quick 0-2. Mariners bullpen in this series has been very good, but it's also thrown 10 innings. It's allowed just 1 run in those 10 innings. Furbush threw 12 pitches on Friday, 8 pitches yesterday. So even though it's his 3rd consecutive game working, he has really not thrown a lot of pitches.
He kind of slings the ball. Good fastball from the left-hander.
Burns spoils a pretty good pitch. Mark Lowe, who has also pitched in the first 2 games of this series, gets up. Slider away. So I think with the heavy bullpen use, Lloyd McClendon will be happy with an off day tomorrow. Fernando Rodney awaits. And this pop-up's playable right to Cano. And Cano grabs it, so Burns is 0 for 4. 1 out here in the 8th. He's got to get something going. Here's Semien. That's a final. The Angels beat the Astros 3-1. So they split the 4-game series. Richards got the win, Feldman the loss. And the Astros got just 1 hit in the game.
Well, that moves the Angels to 5 behind the Astros. Seattle's 6.5. Texas picks up a game. So A's would like to pick up a game also. Yes. Leading in the division, Houston Astros.
A line drive right into the glove of Seager.
It doesn't matter who's pitching there with Marcus Semien. Everything hard hit.
So 2 outs. The line for Felix Hernandez, 103 pitches. 2 earned runs, both the home runs by Semien. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So sort of a ho-hum start for Felix Hernandez. He seems to do that just about every time. 7 innings.
Well, wasn't his ERA 173 when he came in? So gives up 2 runs.
Yep.
Can't believe that. turned out Sonny Gray in his start on Friday just did not give up the .67 runs because he was at 167 coming in the game.
Reddick is 0 for 3. 1 for 12 in this series. But of course, that one hit was a big one, the home run. Scribner starts to throw. Back up the middle. Scooped up by Miller. His throw in time. Furbush has a 3 up, 3 down, 8th inning. So the bottom of the 8th is coming up. Still 4-2 Seattle. Rates brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-5-1 for the A's, 4-5-0 for the Mariners. Mariners scored 3 in the 4th inning, couple of big doubles. Jesse Chavez and Felix Hernandez squaring off, and Hernandez sitting in a decent spot. He got to his 2000th career strikeout today. 2 home runs for Marcus Semien. He's 3 for 4 on the afternoon. So the A's will get one more shot to avoid being swept here in Seattle. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts, with Evan Scribner coming in for his 16th appearance. So game number 33 for the A's, game number 16 for Scribner. He'll face Seager, Morrison, and Ackley. Fernando Rodriguez was able to work out of that jam in the 7th inning. Mariners left the bases loaded.
It's amazing how we see at times where a pitcher comes in to get out of a jam, and then at times a manager does not want him to sit down and go back out. And that's why you bring in a fresh arm out of the bullpen, somebody with adrenaline start the inning. So Fernando did his job. Scribner trying to keep it at 2 runs as the other Fernando starts to get loose. Last time he pitched in Felix Hernandez's game, he gave up 4 in the 9th inning. Unfortunately, the A's could not hang on and win that one in extra innings.
Back-to-back curveballs. One looking for a strike, the next one swinging.
Yeah, I think a lot is to be said about getting ahead of a hitter. And today, when Chavez got ahead of Seager and now Scribner, good things have happened. When Chavez fell behind 3-0, it got a green light and hit the double.
High fastball fouled toward the upper deck. Scribner pitched on Friday night, and he got knocked around, gave up a couple of hits, couple of runs in 2/3 of an inning. threw 20 pitches on Friday night. So the A's will get one more shot, and it'll be against Fernando Rodney. Another curveball, and Seager taps that one foul down the first base line.
Scribner, the good curveball, good cut fastball. The cutter on Friday night, unfortunately, the pitch was not where he wanted it. Resulted in a run-scoring hit.
Tried Brad Miller. Hit that breaking ball for the double. So Seager steps back in. Three left-handed hitters here. And that one's hit well left center field. Burns near the wall, and he makes a basket catch. Nice play by Billy Burns.
Talk about a ball hanging up for a long time, and the speed of Billy Burns getting to it. Look where he's playing and how far he has to run. He just keeps going, the ball slicing away, and had to fight the sun a little bit. Check the warning track, put the glove down, a la Willie Mays, who turned 84 earlier this week. Excellent play by Billy Burns. Look at that, using the bare hand to make sure the ball stayed in the glove. Not even breathing hard.
Nah. Had it all the way. Here's Logan Morrison.
Always amazed at how outfielders can run and the ball doesn't move. It's because their heads are bobbing all over the place, but they can keep their heads steady to watch the baseball. But it's taking a lot of reps, taking a lot of fly balls, and that's why I want to stay behind the plate.
That's right. That ball's bouncing around.
That's it.
Your odds of catching it are
but it's amazing
decreasing.
How the ball doesn't bounce. It's your head that's doing the bouncing. But it's the same concept, and just does not work.
No, I don't think the ball's bouncing. Although there's probably some players that will tell you that no. The baseball's moving.
The few times I played the outfield, it always moved.
Yeah. Nice play. Sogard throw to first, takes a hit away from Morrison. What a play. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Know it all with Sportsnet Central this evening at 6 p.m. on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. All of our highlights from this game here in Seattle. You get the Warriors update from Memphis and all the NBA playoff highlights. Kelly Johnson, Henry Wolford will host. So here's Ackley.
If you think about the A's defensive deficiencies the last 8 consecutive games now, and you watch plays in this inning alone. Billy Burns, a long run to Rob Seager, and a great diamond play. It's a base hit to right center. And yet Sogard pant legs down a whole thing and still robs Morrison of a base hit. That's great defense, and it's too bad you start putting those 1s and 2s and sometimes 4 in a column, in the air column, and
hard to figure out.
It is hard to figure because these guys know how to play defense and they can play it. I think it's always great that an infielder can dive, get his uniform dirty, but get up so quickly to make a strong throw to retire the hitter.
Good pitch. Low strike called. It's been that way all day, and the count is 3-2. So the payoff pitch, and hit hard, going down to one knee is Sogard. Side retired. So final shot for the Athletics. They'll have to do it against Fernando Rodney. It's 4-2 Seattle as we head to the ninth.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Well, the score, the A's need a couple of runs to tie it. They'll have to do it against the closer, Fernando Rodney, but they'd like to do that here in the ninth inning, and we'll tell you that on Thursday, May the 28th, against the New York Yankees. 15,000 fans will receive the one-of-a-kind Stephen Vogt referee bobblehead driven by Chevrolet, which features audio of his referee calls and the famous fan chant. And you know what that is. If you believe in Stephen Vogt, get your tickets right now by calling 877-493-BALL or visiting athletics.com/tickets. And that is a bobblehead you will want to get for your collection. In the meantime, Stephen Vogt will be hitting second against Fernando Rodney, as Butler will lead off, try to get something started against the closer, who has a 2-run lead.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So here is Rodney. He's 8 for 9 in saves this year. That one blown save against the Athletics. In his career, 228 career saves. So he kind of has a reputation for making it interesting. That's what the A's are hoping for. First pitch to Billy Butler is a little high. Butler's 0 for 3. And there's that change-up splitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's an old palm ball changeup, and throws it just like his fastball, at least the same delivery, and that's why hitters swing and miss the way they do it. And that was after a high fastball out of the strike zone. Yeah.
Well, such a difference in speeds. That off-speed pitch he throws is 81, 82, 83, somewhere in there, and then the fastball is 95.
That's right.
It's a huge difference. And that one's hit toward right center. Cruz on the move, and Nelson Cruz makes a nice running catch.
Well, Butler hit it well, but I don't know as well as it sounded, although it seemed to die quickly. It sliced back to Cruz in right center. Good idea. You wait, and of course you hit a fastball if you're thinking about his changeup, which Butler swung through. And it just hung up a little bit too long, enough time for Cruz to get there.
So 1 out, and here's Vogt. Vogt's had a couple of hits. The A's with 5 hits in the game. Each team with 5 hits. But the last 8 A's hitters have been retired. So Furbush with a perfect 8th inning. Felix Hernandez last inning was the 7th. He set the side down in order. Rodney trying to save it for Felix Hernandez, who's looking for his 6th win this year. So now Vogt's behind in the count 1-2. He got that changeup, but it was up.
Well, it was up, and Stephen Vogt out in front a little bit, kept his bat back, but fouled it back. Game that Rodney had the blown save with Felix starting was a game in which there was a 4-run lead, and he did not want to pitch, and that was kind of the sentiments of people watching the game, that he came in, just took his time forever to get there and gave up the 4, but unfortunately Cruz hit the home run in the extra innings, and that was the game.
2-2 the count. Ike Davis waits in the on-deck circle, and that one missed. Not by much. 3-2.
That's a little bit of a quick pitch from Rodney. He went to the set and quickly threw, and just enough off the plate that Will Little didn't like it. He has been consistent in that location this afternoon.
A big pitch here. 3-2. Here it comes. And that one's hit high in the air to right. Cruz is back. He's at the wall, and that baby's gone. 4-3.
Well, 3 runs for the A's today, all 3 solo home runs. And Stephen Vogt, a big day, 3 hits for him. And all the people from Tom Walter very happy as he's had a huge crowd in all 3 games. So looked like the changeup, throwing the palm ball, 3-2. And Stephen Vogt, bad location inside the Vogt, good location for him, bad for Rodney, and a solo home run that was a towering fly ball that made it out.
So home run number 8 for Vogt, and here's Ike Davis, and Davis hits one high in the air. This is playable. Ruggiano coming in, and he's got it. So 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and now it's up to it's Laurie's spot, but Laurie's not out there. And it's going to be Coco Crisp who's going to hit for Laurie.
Now this is more than anything. Coco is still looking for his first hit, but he's been Bob Melvin trying to get Coco Crisp maybe to be patient with the palm ball, Fernando Rodney.
So that may come into play as well. 5 for 14 with a home run.
So Mark Canha loosening in the dugout. If this extends, he may be called upon to pinch hit. I think it's appropriate that Coco gets to play today, considering the way he's decked out and all this multicolored pink on his right arm.
Ready to do something good?
Yes. Check out his right arm. I mean, that's above and beyond with that multicolored sweatshirt. So see if he can show that off by getting on base.
First pitch on the inside corner for a strike. So a big crowd today, 42,831, and they are all on their feet. A little bit lower.
As I look at my score sheet, the A's have not had a runner in scoring position all day. All the home runs, solo home runs, and a few singles scattered around. So it's tough to have a hit with a runner in scoring position when there aren't any out there. Felix was good. Just 2 runs of the 2 home runs by Semien.
2-1 to Coco. Good swing there. So the count even at 2-2.
It's an example of why closers like to come in with more than a 1-run lead, because you have the ability of making a mistake, and if it's just a 1 or a solo home run, you still have the lead. In this case, Rodney does after the Stephen Vogt home run.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Coco can't believe it.
Wow.
So he's chatting with Will Little, and that pitch looked like it was about 6 inches outside.
He has not called that all day. Wow.
So let's take a look at the called 3rd strike to end the game.
Look where Sucre is. Watch how far he has to go out. And Will Little has not called that, or did not call that pitch all day. So many times he'd turn his head to the left, indicating outside, but yet good way to end the game from his standpoint, because no chance of Coco getting on base. Wow.
So Vogt's home run got the A's close, but not close enough.